hi and good morning. I am Bree and
I'm Nelly.
this is Nelly. And so this is our second attempt at recording our third episode, but you guys get this in real time because this will be actually dropping today. So that's actually kind of fun. I'm going to upload it and get it going.
For sure. And we had such... Last week we recorded for almost 2 hours, and just to find out that nothing was recorded, and so it was pretty devastating.
Yeah, we were both pretty sad. I was like, okay, just don't get mad.
Some things, like sometimes you can't redo something because it's just like improvised, and
we don't have scripts.
We don't have scripts. We just show up here and we just talk.
Yeah, like we have like a compilation of topics that like we've compiled over the past year, because this has been like in the works for quite some time. We've been wanting to start this podcast.
Right.
And the stars finally aligned.
And so yesterday, my stories, my Instagram, I asked if anyone had questions for us to answer on the podcast. And I've had, I think, 3 questions. And so I'm going to start with one. And Bree, if you want to jump in and answer, give your opinion. So this person over here is asking, when in reverse diet or building, what key goals should you be looking for?
Ooh, okay. So I feel like you and I both have similar answers to this.
Yeah.
Because I did 3 preps and okay, this one is a little tricky. So I really think it depends on how your prep went. I'm a very intuitive person. So going into, let's see, okay, it was 2022. I did a show in May. I did a show in June. And then I did another one. I did the Tahoe show in August. My June show, I had the ketosis flu. It was pretty bad. I was very, I got super lean. I think I started to atrophy, which that means like your muscles kind of start to deplete, and I could see it in my butt. And it was like, so long story short, there was a coach at the time at the gym that I was training at, and he has since then passed, which is so sad because he was just so knowledgeable. But he had me look into the recovery diet instead of reverse.
Okay.
So reversing, he's like, technically you're still in a deficit.
Yeah.
And you're in a deficit for a long time because you're slowly getting your calories back up.
Right.
So I went, because I think the reason why we started talking about this at the time is my body was craving nut butter. So I was just like eating cashew butter like crazy. And then all of a sudden the craving went away and I stopped. It wasn't like I binged. I listened to my cues. And so I'm telling him about this, and he's like, gave me a whole book on recovery. So basically, you get up to your surplus or your max calories, right? And you just jump right back in, because it actually gets your hormones back in check fast instead of like a slow, steady process.
Yeah, so I've heard the 2 sides of the story where some people say it's better to slowly reverse up the calories, and there's some other people that are like, no, jump into maintenance right away. That's what your body needs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did. Well, maintenance towards surplus, I gained 20 pounds in the first 2 months, and then it's just stabilized. It just stopped.
Yeah. I feel like I did pretty good in my reverse. I was great, actually. And then I went and had my blood work done, and I was told to get my body fat up by the nurse practitioner.
Right.
Which, for me personally, I think it was like bad advice, but we did it. I'm like, she wants me at 25% body fat just to have my hormones stabilized. And if there's anybody out there who is, I know a lot about hormones just because of my own personal journey. And then like I talk to women all the time, but I feel like I'm kind of like a special case because once I did that, my period stopped. It was so bizarre because I had a period the entire time on prep.
The entire prep?
The entire prep. Mm-hmm.
And then, wait, when you went, after your show, you didn't have your period?
No, I had a period. So when I was done, competing, we reversed. I was at 18%. And then the following January is when I had my blood work done.
Oh.
And she's like, you need to get your body fat up. So I was sitting pretty at like 18%, feeling great. I didn't like explode, I didn't like overdo it.
Uh-huh.
And then so we got my body fat up through foods, and that's when it was like too much estrogen. I don't know what it was. It was so weird.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't get it off. All of 2023, it just like I could not get it off. So last year I lost 20 pounds from January to December.
Uh-huh.
And it was slow. We took it very, very steady, very
Yeah.
slow. And we did like a slow cut, and then we've been titrating back up. So now I'm like, my calories are...
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I have to add anything about it because I already spoke so many times on social media, but my reverse, well, it didn't really exist. I waited 2 weeks for my coach to give me a reverse diet plan, and I kept reaching out to him. He's like, it's coming. But I don't know if there was something going on with his life and anything. And after 2 weeks, I just got upset, and I blocked him. I blocked him. I never heard from him again. It sucks because during the prep, he was an actual good coach. He would be there if I had any questions. He was supportive. Even told me, Nelly, I see you in the Olympia stage one day. Like, he had so much hope for me. Like, he believed in me completely. And then after that, it just, he ghosted. And later on, I found out from other previous athletes that he coached that he kind of was flaky a little bit in that way.
Really?
And so I did everything on my own. I enjoyed some foods here and there. My goal was to gain weight because I felt extremely uncomfortable. I told you that many times. And people didn't believe me on social media. They'd be like, oh, you're going to miss the shreds. No, I don't miss it. I felt absolutely ugly.
I think, because we had talked about that. So I was telling you how I was wearing pump covers to cover how lean I was. I was so embarrassed being that tiny. Like, it was very uncomfortable. I was like, I don't like this. I was wearing
especially when you went in public. In public, it was ridiculous. Like, you enter a room, it's like it turns quiet, and everyone just stares. And sometimes I had like kids kind of like laughing in a bit in a way because it was freaking ridiculous. I was ridiculously lean for a long time. I think I was at 10 weeks out. I was already stage ready.
I think so too.
Yeah, I could have done a show. I just didn't have the confidence. But yeah, I don't miss the shreds. But I didn't feel beautiful because of my face, especially.
Or it looks like...
Oh yeah, I feel like my lips were poking out. My
face.
nose looks bigger. It was just... Yeah, it's just temporary for me.
Oh, man. I had one lady, I went to go get my lips done, and she wanted to fill my face full of filler when I was on prep.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so scared because I've only done like my lips. I think I get them done maybe every 2.5, every 3 years. And we only do like a quarter and a quarter. So half a syringe. That's all I've done. And she wanted to fill my face up with all of this filler in my face. And I'm like, nope. That freaked me out. First of all, this is not like my real face. What is it going to look like when I fill back out and I have my normal, like, this is my normal body. You know what I mean? So if I didn't have that prep face,
right?
Because I don't walk around like that all the time. And now you hear of all of these celebrities getting it dissolved. And I haven't seen this, but I had a client tell me, did you know Lindsay Lohan actually had to have, like, they said that they not removed, but I guess they had to lift up the skin and scrape out all the filler.
Oh my God, it's crazy because she didn't even look like she had fillers. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because you can't dissolve it all the way, I guess. It migrates. And I couldn't imagine if I had, like, listened to her and let her fill my face up.
Yeah.
Because you and I are pretty natural. Like, I mean, yes, like, we've done a few things. We've had our eyebrows done, like, get our lips done a little bit here and there. But
speaking of lips, like, I got mine done, like, 2.5 years ago. And so I'd say 2 weeks ago, I went back. I wanted some more. I was just a little more plump. And like she's a doctor, and so she advises me on what I should do or what I should not do. And she's like, Nelly, it's just not gonna look cute if I had a lot of it.
Right.
And so what I have right now, it's like the maximum she recommends me to go. I could never go for the
The duck lips. I
That's
mean,
it.
can you imagine when you're older? Like, I've wondered this so many times. Like, say, like, you're an old biddy. You're like, what, 80 years old? And it kind of dissolves. Like, what do your lips look like after they've been filled so much? Do they get
You gotta
wrinkly?
keep going.
Like, right? I don't know. It's kind of scary.
I naturally did not have any lips. And there's a huge change. If you go back to my posts, like from 2020 to now, it's insane how much my face has changed. And I also had a rhinoplasty.
Yeah.
My nose, I had a deviated septum, and I just did not like the look at all. It was long, and then it had like a bump. And so I decided I wanted to do this, but it wasn't something I just randomly wanted to do. I've been thinking about it since I was a teenager, and so it's the best decision I've ever made for myself. I
You're like-
absolutely love it right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that. How
Anyways, we're going to jump to our second question, which is from Natalie.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. So Natalie is our friend. She also does our hair.
She does our hair.
And she says I'm due, and I always say I'm not due, but then because her color just holds so well.
You know, Natalie is a hairstylist in Roseville, and she runs her own salon. And
Artistry in motion.
what I like about her, just to say something positive, besides the fact that she's an amazing human being,
Yeah.
is that she's continually educating herself about hair. Like she's not stuck on like what she did on 20 years ago.
No,
She keeps
yeah.
evolving, and she gets my hair lighter without ETH. I remember I was going to this hairstylist, our dresser, and she would put me under the dome.
Oh my
and
gosh,
it was
yeah.
hot for like an hour, and my hair would never grow, ever. It would just stay over here. And when I met Natalie the first time, and I saw how she did the highlights, I'm like, are you going to put me under the heat dome or not? She's like, no, I don't do that.
No.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, she's all about protecting the integrity of your hair.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so back to Natalie and what she's asking.
She says, how focused are you two with your sleep? How important is sleep for one's goals?
Very important. Very important.
Yeah, if I don't sleep at least 6 hours, I don't go to the gym. That's my rule. I
okay.
do not go to the gym. I'd
That's a
rather
good
recover
rule.
and workout comes after. So sleep is always first.
That's a good rule. My sleep, I get so much these days. I get a lot. So I get about 8 to 10 hours of sleep.
Oh, wow.
I know. And it's new territory for me. So I think I'm just more at peace with my life. I mean, I went through a long period of time with nightmares after my sister passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not sleeping. I couldn't sleep. Like, I would be up all the time. My coach at the time was like, you need to take, cortisol, aids, and like 5-HTP, which helps with stress. I would try like CBD gummies. I cannot have those because I'm very sensitive to CBD and THC.
You just look different when you don't sleep well.
Mhm.
You'll be more puffier, and you're
Yeah.
gonna retain more water, and you just can't recover properly if you don't.
Yeah, you can't recover, and it's almost like when you sleep, it's like you're a baby.
Mhm.
Because babies, like, they sleep so much and they're growing.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're sleeping, you're kind of like a little baby and you're still growing.
Right.
Like, so very, very, very important. And I know Natalie has the Aura ring. So she's been like tracking her sleep like crazy, which is awesome.
I used to track it too with my watch, but it's not working anymore.
I can't sleep with it on. So
And so, do you take any supplements to help you with that, or
I take magnesium glycinate.
magnesium? Yeah,
Mhm.
me too.
Every night, but it doesn't knock me out. So I get it from a natural food store here in Roseville, and I don't know, it doesn't like make me groggy. I have like a clock. I go to bed at the same time almost every night, wake up naturally. I don't set an alarm. but I sleep well.
Okay. I would say I'd sleep about 7 hours to 8 hours a night. But lately I've been falling asleep earlier. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not complaining. I'm usually a late bird. I stay up until midnight, 12:30, and I go to sleep. But now I've been falling asleep at 9:30, 10, so which is a good thing. So we have another question over here. Struggling to lose belly fat. Any tips? Everything changing in my body except belly.
Ooh, hormonal.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not sure how
hormonal.
old she is, though. That would be helpful to know. But if it's not hormones, it's genetics. That's what I
Yeah.
think. And what would you do in that case?
So, I mean, everything that because I'm researching all the time, usually belly fat is due to hormones. It could also be like for me, we were just talking before we got on air, is it could be some sort of intolerance. Like me right now, it's gluten. I'll go back to like last Wednesday. Today's Monday. I had my free meal, and I had brioche buns. And Thursday and Friday, super sluggish, very, very sluggish, and the bloat started to kick in, and then like a big dummy. I mean, I plugged it in, but I had these 2 brookies on Friday night. Saturday, I just woke up. It's almost like I drank, and I don't drink. Like it was like a feeling of being hungover, and I cannot let go of that, like the bloat.
Yeah.
So, I would say if she's having a hard time, get blood work done. See if you have any food intolerances. Also check your hormones, because they always say like if you're holding fat here, it's usually hormonal belly.
I'm gonna add that that is considering, like, I suppose you are eating healthy and training.
Yeah.
If you're eating junk food a few times a week, then you're gonna hold
Oh, for
belly fat
sure.
for sure. Especially if that's what your body's predisposition is in regards to holding body fat. Like me, I have this amazing genetics. I can be super heavy and have a flat stomach. I will not gain fat over here ever. Some women, it's the opposite. They will gain in the belly. It's really depends on your genetics,
Yeah.
that as well. But if you've always been that way, if you always held more body fat in your stomach, that means it's your genetics. Like, I've always been that way. You've always been that way.
Yeah, we're pretty similar. So like I
Yeah.
know if there's something freaky going on in my body, and I'm like waking up, like I literally woke up 4 pounds heavier, and you could see it. Like I'm looking at my side by side comparisons. I'm like, I really cannot have gluten. Like once in a blue moon I can, but when I have a flare up, it's a flare up, and I get puffy under my eyes. For her though, you would have to really see pictures, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Diet, just see.
Consistency,
Yeah.
definitely. I was gonna ask you something. I think I just, when people say that science studies that to lose weight, you absolutely have to be in a calorie deficit no matter what. Do you believe that?
I would say for a short period of time to be in a deficit, because what happens is like both you and I have noticed, like being in a deficit. I mean, that's kind of like a tricky question, because you have women, you have men. So if you're in a deficit just for a short period, you're obviously going to start losing weight. So
Yes.
if I take on a new client, I usually have them track their macros for a week or two before I even get them on a meal plan, just so I could see how many calories are you getting in, and usually they're already eating in a deficit. So I think my idea of their deficit is still a surplus of calories. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So say like the average woman, the average woman is probably eating about 900 calories max a day.
Yeah.
And if I were to take said client on, I'd probably start her at 1400, which will be a lot for her, but to us that's a deficit. Right? So you have to like trick the metabolism, really is what it is. You're tricking the metabolism, you're getting them moving, you're getting them on a workout plan, right?
Right.
And then you're having it all like get in sync. You're having everything get in sync.
And so, do you believe in blaming the hormones? Let's say, do you believe that someone can be everything they should be doing and not lose weight? They're in a calorie deficit, they train. Do you believe that?
I believe that for maybe a short period of time. But I'll even use my own self, for example. Like, I did have hormone issues, but I refused to be on a ton of medication, and I only want to, like, I'll implement some sort of like hormone HRT therapy, but I would like to help heal my body with foods, right?
Right.
Foods, supplements, nutrition, right? So my body was being stubborn, but I just kept on the course, and you just have to trust the process. So I kept on the, on the course, and I'm like trusting the plan, and then it will click. So you have to trust that it'll click. And then all of a sudden it's just like, whew, then it starts shedding, So like I said, I lost 20 pounds last year by trusting the process through food, not on any HRT, because I'm like, I don't want to be on that all the time,
Right.
You can heal your body through foods. You can heal Hashimoto's through, no, I don't want to say heal. You can help your Hashimoto's through food.
Right.
Hashimoto's is people who have thyroid issues, but there's diets that help aid that, so you don't feel like shit.
So that was it for our questions for today. Unfortunately, I posted that kind of late last night, so I didn't have a lot of questions, but I will keep asking
Yeah, same.
y'all to ask your questions so we can answer on the podcast. I should have brought my water. My goodness.
Well, speaking of that, so what did you get this morning for coffee? What did you get this morning for coffee?
Americano with almond milk and stevia. It's my go-to drink.
So you had gotten the one that I get, and I'm going to actually just be switching to my Nespresso pods from here on out. But
I tried her drink yesterday. It was amazing.
Yeah, this is kind of like my favorite. It's like a little cheat. It tastes like a cheat, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like a little...
Yeah.
So this one is just a cold brew from Dutch. I don't know if anybody else has Dutch Bros where they're at.
It's too cold for me to even think about drinking cold right now.
I drink
I'm
cold.
freezing.
Yeah, I drink cold all the time. It doesn't really like...
And so on the last podcast, we were talking a little bit about Ozempic. Maybe we could, take 5 minutes to talk about it. My God, I really need some water. We're good. No, we're going to finish this episode.
Yeah, we can get some in the break room. We did touch on Ozempic and our opinions on it. I do know that some bodybuilders on prep, total like pause. This is a squirrel moment. But okay, so bodybuilders on prep, like they'll have like microdosed Ozempic just to quiet the noise. And I was talking to a client who is on Ozempic, and she's like, Brie, it's actually really amazing. Like, she works in a place where they're always bringing like goodies and treats and cookies into the office. And she's like, it's so weird because like I can look at the cookie, and she's like, I don't even want to grab for it. Isn't that crazy? Like,
and she used to be that person before Ozempic.
So it silences the noise inside of your brain for cravings. Studies have shown that Ozempic like actually can help with alcoholism.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
Quit smoking.
The cravings?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So it's not just for food. So maybe there's a reason why our podcast didn't get recorded or the sound didn't get going, because I was able to talk to that client and like really have a better understanding for Ozempic, because I'm still not pro. And you asked me my opinion last time. Like,
right.
I don't know your opinion, but
I was saying on our last unrecorded podcast is that I'm not really knowledgeable with Ozempic. I just know that it's a shot that people take to lose weight and that it stops their hunger.
Yeah,
that's all I know. But I do have a friend that's on Ozempic, and she's overweight and she's struggling to lose weight. And ever since she started taking Ozempic, I can see clearly that she is dropping weight fast. And it seems like it's becoming very popular, and with celebrities as well. I don't like the look of someone on Ozempic. Like, I'd much rather I like bodies that go through the process, the weightlifting, eating right, because they look better than someone that is using something to help them. That is my opinion. So,
and the slower you lose weight, like the less loose skin you get, you know, because like you're kind of doing it in a gradual process. I feel like there's people who abuse it, and then people who are doing it accordingly. Like, I don't want to say microdosing, but they're kind of cycling on and cycling off, which I think is that's how you're supposed
like
to do it.
PEDs, basically.
Yeah. So if you do it the right way and you're still, I mean, you should be eating on Ozempic, and I think that just depends on how much you're taking. Like some people I've talked to and they don't eat, like maybe an apple and like a light little dinner.
What's going to happen? Are they going to take that forever? Like once they drop off the Ozempic, what's going to happen?
The idea is to have it just be a short period of time, and then create healthy habits. But we're in like a fast-paced society where everybody wants instant gratification. So it's like, are they willing to do the work? You know what I mean?
That's kind of scary because the healthy habits is something that is really hard to do, to keep up with someone that struggles with, you know, exercising and eating right. I mean, I think they should, you know, prescribe Ozempic, but also give them guidance,
a meal plan
while they're on Ozempics to, you know, create those healthy habits.
Well, that's one thing. So where I'm at, like I don't want to say partnered with, but there's a local HRT clinic, which is a hormone replacement therapy clinic, but they also offer Ozempic, but I will write meal plans for their patients because that's usually the missing component when patients are prescribed Ozempic, is like they don't have a meal plan in place. They're kind of like, here's your Ozempic. I guess just listen to your hunger cues, but it's like it really silences it, you know?
Right.
And it silences the cravings, which I think that's kind of cool, you know? It can be used for so many different like positive things, like I said, with addiction.
Right.
So I don't know too much about the GLP-1 antagonist, but I was telling you about that tea last time.
Right.
That helped, which I'm going to have to start getting back on because like you start eating like little nibbles of this and I'm like, ooh, like now I want some chocolate.
What was the tea called again?
That one is the yerba mate.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So once a day. And this can help with your metabolism.
It helps with your metabolism. It kind of acts as a natural GLP-1 antagonist, and it does have caffeine. So if you're sensitive to caffeine, avoid it. But drink it before 3 p.m. is my rule of thumb for any caffeine. That way you're not up like crazy all night long.
Is it considered an energy drink?
No, it's just tea.
It's just tea.
Because it has caffeine. So it would be like drinking green tea or something.
Speaking of addiction, that's something that we're going to cover. I would like to talk about in a future podcast as well.
Yeah, me too, because that would be
a
good topic. My butt cheek is like spasming. No,
I just got here this morning and I saw Brie from behind. I'm like, damn, she's growing her glutes at the speed of sound. It looks like a peach from behind.
Oh, we got it.
Because she's building the upper glutes, and so it's like perky on top, and it goes like heart shaped like this. It's
I'm like really trying to grow the lower though, but up here it just won't stop growing. That's like that upper glute. We were talking about
the upper. Do you do a lot of abductions?
No,
you don't.
No, not a ton.
What do you do for glutes? So stop training.
Ooh, do you want to talk training now, or do you want to roll into the next one? Where are we at on time?
Maybe. Let's keep them waiting.
Okay.
It's going to be on our second podcast.
Yes. Okay, so I do want to reiterate that this is a safe space. We want to keep this a positive environment. We love positive feedback. We would love to have any of your comments dropped down in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we really, really appreciate like all the love and support, because this is awesome. Like we love doing this. Like I get so excited to come here,
Yes, me
record,
too. And the feedback we're getting, the shares, just the support, it means a lot to us. And anything that you do, just a like can help us. So
yeah.
we appreciate that.
So thank you, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.